Stampers, and welcome to Mother's Day. I'm going to make a birthday card because if I was making a Mother's Day card it'd be a bit late, wouldn't it? So I posted this yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, and lots of people liked it. So I'm going to show you how I made it. So I'm using Island Indigo and Whisper White. So piece of A4 Whisper White, cut in half, and if you remember from previous videos I talked about how I marked my my trimmer to make it really easy for cutting my card blanks. So cut it, and then using your scoring tool, give it a score, and then that's our perfect card blank. And then I'm going to do the mat in the smallest. So I go to my little pink mark there, and my pink mark there, and that's what I'm going to stamp on. And I've already cut my Island Indigo, and I hate waste, so I gut it. So because you're not going to see it anyway, that's going to mat onto there, give us our lovely border, and this I can use for something else. Okay, so that's me cutting, so I'll put that away. And the stamp sets that I'm using are the Touches of Texture. I'm going to use this stamp here, and then I'm going to use this flower here from Petite Petals, and then from Teeny Tiny Sentiments I'm just going to use Happy Birthday. I love Teeny Tiny Sentiments stamp set because you've just got every occasion that you could possibly want, so it's a really good stamp set to have. So this is what I'm going to stamp on using Island Indigo. I'm still using my little stamp spot. Right, so what I want to do is to get the top one done first, so I don't want to ink the bottom stem for this. So I'm just going to ink just the top bit down to the flowers. I'm going to turn that over because I've already got a smudge on it. I don't know how I did that. Really don't know how I did that. Right, so stick that somewhere in the middle, like so, and now we can do the stems. So now I'm going to ink it up all over, and then this one's going to go to this side, and then this one to the other side. And the reason why I don't do the bottom of the stem for the middle bit is because otherwise it gets a bit messy in the middle, and we don't want that. And so this one's just going to tilt to the other side, like so. And that's that bit done. Then we want our little flowers, so I've got a little scrap bit of Whisper White to the side. In my efficiency of getting everything ready, I have now mislaid it, found it. Okay, so there's my little scrap, and so I'm going to use my little flower. I can dip this one on because it's just little, so I use this like normal, she says. And we just stamp around the edge of the page. 5. There's a rule of odd numbers. If you're sticking things on, it's more pleasing to the eye if it's an odd number rather than an even number. Don't ask me why, don't know who makes these rules up, but there's the rules. There we go, so nice, easy done. And then we just need the little the little flower punch, and we just come in, and I should have thought about the orientation of my flower. Simple, line it up, punch it out. If I'd done it with the two petals to the bottom, if I'd thought about it, it's much easier to do, but I didn't. Because you know what thought did, don't you? And the last one. Right, and then to give the flowers some dimension, what I do is get my stamp mat, piercing mat, stamp mat, whatever, and then I just use the back end of my paper piercer and just press down, and then it comes up nicely. Really nicely. There we go. So that's me 5 little flowers, and then stick them on. You can use glue dots. One little thing I like to do, this is the wax paper from Dimensionals. You can use your silicone mat. Just put a little blob. I think that's Arden over. There we go. Little blob of that. And then dip it in, and then decide. I usually go for the middle bit where they've crossed over a little bit. Stick a flower on there to start with, and then that sorts that little mess out, and then I do the others randomly, but I'm not going to stick them on just yet because I want to stick me bit of fake ribbon. I would stick with a bit of fake ribbon if I could actually find where I've done with me bit of Island Indigo. Anyway, I can't find me bit of Island Indigo for the moment, so I'm going to stick this on. So I'm going to run a bit of Tombow on this. This gives you the needed wigglage. There we go. Move that out of the way. And so, I didn't burnish that, did I? Oh, moving me address for me blog. Check me out. Right, so this is just going to stick on nicely around the edge. We know we've got 1/8 of an inch all the way around, so it is quite easy to line up. So that sticks on there really nicely. And whilst I'm doing this, my eye is wandering around the side of my desk looking for my strip, and I still can't find it. Found it! My little strip that I'm going to cut off and put on there. As you're cutting your mats up, you always end up with a bit of a strip. So I'm going to slice this to the same width as the Island Indigo underneath. So that'll be to the second one. And then I know it's going to go all the way across the card and to meet up with the other bit of Island Indigo. So I'm going to cover that little slight splodge that I did have nicely. And then with the bit of white that was cut off when I did the, that's a different white from this, so I'm going to cut this into a matte shape size. Ooh, don't know if you heard that. There were some cats. Our neighbours' cats. They're always fighting. Sometimes they sound like a crying baby. It's most disconcerting. Right, so bit of happy birthday in there. Beautiful. And then I get my little label punch. Sorry for reaching across there. And then I just stick my label punch in there. This is the old label punch. I ain't got the new one because I haven't. Because I still got this one. And then I'm going to do a bit of sponging. Spongy, spongy, spongy. You don't have to sponge. Matter of fact, the first time I did this I didn't sponge. And then the second time I did sponge. And I'm going to sponge all the way around the outside of this one as well. Because I like that effect. And this is how I do get some of my inky messes. It's no wonder really, is it? There we go. That's it. Very nice too, like that. And then I'm going to stick this on. Oh, I might use snail for this. Oops. Oh, and I've put that. Oh, very lucky, Jez. That was nearly a gluey, sticky mess. Go right to the edge. Otherwise it'll lift up. And we don't want it lifting up. So, make sure we're covering our little splodge. Just line it up on my grid mat. So it is straight. Oh, it goes off, doesn't it? Back. I might trim it off. The other one I left it that size, but because of being on camera and forgetting, I think we've done it wrong again, Dad. There we go. And so I'll just trim that off. Oh, moving all over the place. Don't want to move too far. I've got a bit of washi tape down here that tells you when I'm off camera. Right. Get that off there. And I'll trim off the other side. There we go. Nicely, nicely. And then I'm going to use these little skeleton edges to stick the sentiment on because they fit nicely like that. On there, because the full dimensional is a little bit too big for this, so you can either half your dimensional or use your little skeleton bits. Put that down there. Try and get it so I've got an even at the top of the bottom. There we go. Nicely straight. And then we can decide where we're going to put our other flowers. I kind of put one next to the happy birthday because I liked that look. I like one at the top. And then we go to the two sides, I think. So pick up our glue. Use my little end. It's a really quick dry and glue this. I think I might need a little bit more of a splodge. Tad splodge. More. I don't know. You can tell when I'm concentrating, so it goes really quiet. There we go. And the last one in there. Doo -doo. And then a bit of Tombow. Or should I pop it up? I'm going to pop it up. Now that I've cut the edge off, I can pop it up. So we're going to get some more dimensionals, and I'm going to pop it up. Make that one a little bit different. One in each corner, and then I just like to put a couple either side. Give it a bit of strength. There we go. That one's already done. Oh, I'm off camera, aren't I? I do apologise, and I'm not speaking. How boring am I today? There we go. That's that. There we go. And this stamp set was one of the 2 free stamp sets that I chose as part of the current join-in offer. So the current join-in offer with Stampin' Up is you pay your £99 for your starter kit, where you can choose absolutely anything you want out of the current catalogues up to the value of £130, and then you add 2 stamp sets. So this, I think, was one of the most expensive stamp sets in the catalogue, so I chose this one, and I chose the Better Together because I fancied the sentiments. And so that was about 80 quid's worth on top of the 130 that I chose, and all that for £99. Anyway, so it is a good time to join, but you can got until the 31st of March, and that offer will then run out. Okay, so here we are. That's the end of today's card. Thank you. I should put everything on my blog. There's my blog dress. Okay, see you again another day.